Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Sheffield United match reaction. Not very happy about this one, to be perfectly honest, as we've just gone and got beaten by Scunthorpe United, who aren't even in the league, 3-2 at Glanford Park. Now, did we play well? If that's a question that you're asking me, it was completely a game of two halves. The Blades were by far the worst team in the first half and by far the best team in the second half, to be honest. But we left ourselves way too much to do, to be perfectly honest. But let's not start from there. Let's start from the stream itself, because I'm one of the supporters that paid £7 today to watch that game. And first of all, at halftime, I was thinking, it's a dreadful stream. The camera was awful. You couldn't see into the corners. And I understand if you aren't paying for something and it's rubbish, that's fine. I understand. We appreciate you just giving us something for free. But when you're paying £7 and you can't even see who's taking a corner, you can't see the numbers on the backs of the shirts. You can't. The camera from the main camera was not focused at all. Well, you couldn't see anybody. I couldn't even work out some of the players, to be honest. Like Fleck, short, Dumpy, plays a certain type of way. You know who John Fleck is. Sometimes I couldn't even work out. Do you know some players that just don't look like anybody else? I couldn't work out who it was. So me and the Red Alpha Sheffield guys who were trying to kind of commentate on it in the watch along, we really, really struggled. And really, when you're paying £7 for a game, that shouldn't happen. There's only one of me watching that game. So they've got £7. They got £7 per person who watched that. They're making a lot of money. And for a really, really poor stream, they've really not done enough there to give us a good stream to watch. So yeah, it zoomed in really well on all the players, but the actual camera that showed everything and all the goals really was really bad. So that's just where I wanted to start. I don't want to give them too much grief for that, because it is a preseason game. It could have been all to do with Scunthorpe's camera work and stuff. But if you're taking money off the fans, you should really offer your own camera and stuff like that. So we'll just leave that there, shall we? It was a boiling hot day today, so you can understand a few lads being off the pace a little bit. But to be 3-0 down at half time to a team that's not even in the Football League is pretty embarrassing. Now, the first goal came really early on, 21st minute. But before that, we weren't really in the game. I can't remember before them scoring us looking good in the slightest going forward. Like, we would play a nice pass inside and then play a sloppy pass. We'll try and dribble with the ball, which will dribble past someone. And then again, the easy things we weren't doing right. We weren't finding the man. And really, Jebo and Asula up front together, I think they're a little bit disjointed. I think they're quite similar in a way. They're both quite gangly and like to kind of pick the ball up and run with it. I feel like it needs a Billy Sharp in there, to be honest. I know he's obviously unfit, but I'm trying to give as many to the people that haven't watched this game. I'm trying to give as many opinions as possible. I know you can't think about this too much because it is a preseason game. The lads are not fully up to speed. I think a lot of those lads, especially in the first half, just didn't turn up for the game. I really don't think they did. Scunthorpe were really good. Don't get me wrong. Don't for a second think that I'm just blaming Sheffield United for us losing this game. Scunthorpe were really, really good, got some really good balls into the box, and that's really where all the goals came from. Now, the first goal I missed. My stream went down, and that's another problem with not going to matches and stuff, which I hate. I hate not going to matches. I really do. And I would have been going to this one today, but my dad couldn't make it. So, yeah, I had no one to go with. So I decided to do a watch along instead. I'm going to the Burton game, and I'm hopefully going to try and get to the Barnsley game, but I'm not sure about that one just yet. But yeah, apparently the first goal, I think it was George Broadbent made a bit of a mess of a clearance. It landed to Gallimore, Mr. D. Gallimore, and he fired it in the bottom corner. Daniel Gallimore, that's it. He fired it into the bottom corner past Jordan Amissa. And I really feel sorry for Jordan Amissa today because he had no chance with any of these goals, especially the second two. The first two I can't really comment on too much because I didn't see it. But the second two were really, really poor defending. And yeah, I understand George Broadbent is a young lad. He's not had many first team games, if any. I don't know. But today he didn't have a great game, but he wasn't helped out by the three centre backs that we played for most of last season: Chris Basham, John Egan, and Jackie Longthrow. All of them at sea for both goals, really. The first one came in, a lovely ball into the boxes. Two players waiting at the back post to just tap the ball past Jordan Amissa. And he's just stood there in no man's land, just like, what's going on, boys? Like, John Egan and Jack Robinson should have been there at the back post watching these men. Chris Basham should have tried to... Chris Basham should have been in a better position to try and stop the cross coming in. Same with George Broadbent. Really poor. One of the worst defensive performances I think I've ever seen from Sheffield United, especially in the first half anyway, especially from three centre-backs that we normally can count on. And then they scored another goal. That last one was in the 33rd minute when they went 2-0 up. The 40th minute was another really, really easy goal to score for Scunny. Another great ball into the box. And Colin Daniel, 34-year-old Colin Daniel, scores a header from really close range. Again, a miss out, no chance whatsoever for him. Really poor. The only thing that we did in the whole of that game, in the whole of that first half, I think it was earlier on when I think it was after the first goal, the ball came in from a corner, I believe. Jack Robinson at the back post does really well to keep the ball on target. Great save by Dewhurst. And I need to bring this up. Marcus Dewhurst, one of United's young goalkeepers on loan at Scunny. We obviously let him play in a game like today. So it was his first game for the club. In all honesty, I don't think he could have done anything with either of our goals that we scored. But he gave a really good account of himself, especially from Jack Robinson's shot where point-blank range made a great reflex save. And that's all she really wrote for the first half. They were the much better side. They looked like scoring pretty much every time they went forward. They were catching us on the break. They were catching us with the ball over the top, which we got caught by last season a lot. And it was pretty poor, pretty embarrassing that first half. However, in the second half, we came out all guns blazing. We pressed them extremely well, in my opinion. Like, we're all over them. We still really couldn't find that killer finish, though. We got into some good positions, lots of nice little, like 4 or 5 passes where it's bump, 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 all one touch. It was really nice to see. But we couldn't get that final ball right. We didn't really have many chances in that second half, I don't think. No clear-cut ones anyway, other than the goals. And one of them certainly wasn't clear-cut from Ile, bringing it from deep and smashing it in the bottom corner. But we'll get there. And really, we didn't, like I said, we didn't really create a whole lot until the cavalry arrived. And I was shouting for us to see kind of all the rest of them, like Sander Berger. I wanted to see Enel, which Enel did come on for Chris Basham. So I hope Bash isn't injured. But I thought Enel Ahmedovich was absolutely fantastic in this game. He did everything right. He came forward with pace. He defended really well. Some last-ditch tackles in there. Great to see. Won his headers. Won everything. I thought he was great. He started the attacks off really well too. It reminds me, coming forward, of Chris Basham in a way. As soon as he gets the ball, he likes to move forward. And that's what we want to see from a defender, because I think sometimes on the other side, Jack Robinson, his first thing is to either boot it forward or come back inside and pass it. And we want really, we want two centre-backs at either side, or two left and right centre-backs either side, getting the ball. As soon as they get the ball, move up the pitch really quickly. And it's nice to see that Anel can do that and wants to do that. He also had a shot in the second half that just went wide, that took a deflection, but he certainly had some mustard on that shot. But the cavalry was Baldock, Medovic, which he came on early on, actually. Kieran Clark came on in the 73rd minute. Karen Gordon in the 73rd. Norwood came on a little bit earlier. Baldock in the 73rd minute. Oh, I've already said Baldock. Berger in the 73rd minute. And Brewster in the 73rd minute. So there was a lot of players coming on there. I think it obviously was too late because we didn't get that equaliser, which we probably would have got if we'd have played another 5 or 10 minutes. I was screaming for him to come on at 60th minute, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, they came on in the 73rd, and that's when we really, really got going. Brewster scored pretty much straight after that, I think. Just trying to look now, seeing when Brewster scored, because it can't have been much after that. But what happened was, it's there. Brewster, no, not 73rd, 74th. They were literally on 1 minute, and Brewster scored. Ollie Norwood picks the ball up from deep, plays a beautiful ball right onto George Baldock's foot, and he gets the ball. He swings in a perfect ball. No, he don't swing in. That's giving it a bit of disrespect. He puts on a sixpence for Ryan Brewster to head the ball past the goalkeeper. He heads it kind of straight where he's headed, to be honest. And obviously when the ball's coming across, Duess is going across that way, and he heads it into the top corner. Fantastic header from Brewster. Fantastic pass from Ollie Norwood. Fantastic cross from George Baldock. And we want to see more from George Baldock, because I think that if we see Baldock finding those men in the box with his crossing and he's defending really well, I think that he may keep Bogle out. We'll have to see. Because Bogle was fantastic at the back end of last season. And obviously George has got maybe a couple of months in the first team without anybody kind of testing him. Certainly George Broadbent, way too many Georges. George Broadbent didn't really show today that he's going to be challenging George Baldock anytime soon. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it was very, very nice to see George Baldock find Ryan Brewster's head for that goal. Really, really well taken goal. And then in the 79th minute, 5 minutes later, Illiman Njai gets the ball from deep, runs. A couple of little kind of shimmies, gets it onto his left foot. I'm thinking he's going to kind of check back onto his right, but he doesn't. He unleashes an absolute bullet into the bottom corner. I think it may have gone through somebody's legs because Duess didn't even dive. I think he either probably thought it was going wide or he was unsighted. But it's a great finish into the bottom corner. We want to see more of that from Njai and whatever you want to call him. It was great when he came on. He came on a little bit earlier. When was it? When did he come on? In the 46th minute. So he came on at half time. I think that we were expecting to see a different 11 in the second half. I think we were expecting to see, at least 7 or 8 players being replaced because they all really deserve to be replaced. I thought Koulibaly did okay. I thought Ollie Arblaster did well. I'm actually surprised we brought Arblaster off because I thought he played really well. I really think he did. Koulibaly did really well in kind of like just in front of his defence, like twisting and turning and sending him for a paper and stuff. So hopefully Koulibaly carries that on, and we see him in a few more of these friendlies, and it may even get a chance in the championship. So fingers crossed. One player I will say that I'm a little bit. Let me just get a drink. There we go. One player that I don't think really lived up to what I was expecting was Max Lowe. He missed a couple of good chances in the second half too, which I haven't mentioned yet. The ball came across to him. He's got oceans of space, kind of like a one-on-one on the angle, and he hits it straight at Duess. He makes a good save, but he hits it straight at him. He's got to be finding the bottom corner, and that's probably something that Max Lowe could get better with. I think that that's something that Ender Stevens is really good at, finding the back of the net when he gets into a good position. But Max Lowe, I think, is all round the better left wing back out of the three, excluding Osborne. So I want to see more of Max Lowe, but I don't think he had a great game today. I think that's about it, to be honest. It was nice to see Kieran Clark come on. I wanted to see more of him, but the thing is, in the second half, we weren't really defending much. So I didn't see much of Kieran Clark. But yeah, I would probably say that the man of the match today was Enel Ahmedovic. I think he was great. I really, really do. And I'm looking forward to seeing him more of him next season. So, guys, I'll quickly just run through barely any comments that we've got. Here we go. Thank you very much, Jan Woody. Thank you for congratulating me on my son. Louis was born on Wednesday, the 29th of what are we in? June, July? I can't even remember anymore. June it was. It's all a massive blur, to be honest, right now. Very, very excited for bringing that little legend up. Jen Woody again. It was like watching a match and forgetting your glasses and remembering binoculars. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, every time they zoomed in, perfect picture, absolutely fantastic. But then, yeah, the whole picture was dreadful. It really, really was. Andy's saying, "Oh, come on, it's only a friendly." I'm just trying to give an honest opinion. Like, I'm treating it like it's a proper game. Like, everybody should really be treating it as it's a proper game. Like, even the players should be treating it as it's a proper game. But come on, like, being 3-0 down to a non-league team, and it weren't like we put out a really, really young side. There were a few young players sprinkled in there, but we had a lot of players that should be doing a lot better than what they did today. So, that's just my take on it, Andy. I know it's only a preseason game, but at the same time, like, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that we got hammered in the first half because it gave us a kick up the backside to try and kind of get back into the game, and hopefully the players won't phone it in for the rest of these preseason games, and we'll actually win a few more. So, yeah, I think it was a bit of a reality check today. We can't just go and smash everybody. But yeah, it was a really, really good second half. So a nice little reaction to that first half, because that was dreadful. So if you didn't watch it, you didn't miss a lot. We scored 2 really good goals, but there were 3 really, really poor goals to kind of be defending. It wasn't good enough. It really wasn't defending in that first half. But hopefully, like I say, that gives them a kick up the backside. And they do better in the next match against Mansfield. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.